Hi, today on Israeli Salad, we'll see art created by religious teenagers, take a look at the activities on the Memorial Day of our matriarch Rachel, and stay tuned for the first segment of our special series, Mayan and Eyal, a Gush Katif story. Let's get started. Shalom and welcome to Israeli Salad. Is the world of art something that can be taught in religious high schools? To find an answer to that question, let's join Tzipora Luria as she takes us through an exhibition in Jerusalem.
There's
a prayer, please don't neglect us when we become old. Look at this cinema-like adaptation of this phrase. The creation comes from the idea of a mitzvah, from the aspect of an educational view. It's a modern expression with blue and red backgrounds.
In Jerusalem's Menachem Begin Heritage Center, a special exhibition took place. The exhibition presented artworks created by graduates of religious educational institutions.
Art education is something new in the religious schools. This exhibition is to encourage and also to present the religious youth and their inner world of values as they receive religious Zionistic education. In the past few years, the reality of terror has been something we've been living with. This artwork relates to terror in a very delicate way. It doesn't use much color to express the fear and horror. Rather, it uses subtle graphic items to express it.
Taking into account the limitations of Jewish law, especially regarding modesty, and through respect to Jewish ideas, the students use art to express themselves in a free manner.
Here you can see critical statements and very open statements, and that's surprising.
Ethiopian-born Avraham Abera expresses his desire to integrate more successfully into Israeli society through his art.
He's using a lot of color. These dark colors that we see here, he's expressing the difficulties of absorption, the feeling that he's from somewhere else, the feeling of the immigrants who went through a difficult process of absorption. This piece helps the process of integration. It's therapeutic.
Although most of the visitors to the exhibition are religious, the organizers believe they can reach and interest the rest of the public in Israel.
The art can make a statement and become part of young Israeli art. There are statements here regarding the situation in Israel, the complex reality, the problems, and the beauty. David Driff, a leftist political artist, created a piece that expresses the gap between Tel Aviv and Gaza. In the same format of squares, color versus monochrome, artist Tzipi Weiss presents a different gap, the gap between the community of Gush Etzion and the development town of Yerucham. Let's first take care of the social issues inside Israeli society and not skip to the problems of Gaza. A very important piece.
Although it has only lately become popular in religious institutions, great rabbinical leaders such as Rabbi Kook, leader of religious Zionism, acknowledged the positive aspect of art many years ago.
Rabbi Kook was an artist in his style, the way he wrote. Rabbi Kook is a leader, not only in the field of settling the land. You can now see in the world of art the learning of his teachings. This work expresses the motto of the exhibition. In the Torah study room, there is this tub. Wheat is growing in the tub. What is your nourishment as a Jew, as an Israeli? Is it the wheat that grows, or the traditional Jewish books? The wheat symbolized striking roots in the land of Israel, while the books symbolize the Jewish tradition and heritage that the Jews brought with them. This work offers the combination between both aspects.
שהיא נותנת בעצם את האופציה של החיבור, של ההתחברות ביניהם.
And now let's see what's going on at the tomb of our matriarch Rachel. Shalom to Blimi Kluger from the Kever Rachel, the Tomb of Rachel institutions.
Hi.
On Tuesday, October 26th, the 11th day of the month of Cheshvan, the Memorial Day for our matriarch Rachel took place. What happened at the tomb of Rachel, Kever Rachel, on that day? How many people came to the prayers at the gravesite?
I estimate that on that day there were close to 40,000 people. The situation came to such a point that the army here in Israel had to close the place for a period of time in order to allow the people to get out and more people should come in. The prayers there were people got so involved in the prayers and the atmosphere that it just didn't want to leave the place.
Now, I want to ask you something. We know that many people come to grave sites of great religious leaders to pray. So who are they praying to? Are they praying to the leader, in this case, Rachel?
A Jew always only prays to God. But we know that the great people in our history did great things, and therefore they have special merit before God. Rachel had a special promise. God promised her that in her merit, her children will be taken out of exile. And this is exactly the merit that we try to bring about by all these things that we do.
Now, how about on the other days in the year? Do people come to visit this site?
On a daily basis, we have people there almost 24 hours a day. We make sure that visitors from all over the world and from Israel should be able to come, and they should know they can come.
I understand that thanks to your organization, people from all over the world took part in this Memorial Day.
We advertise throughout the world that anybody who wants their name remembered on that day can call in, and we will mention their name at the tomb. From all over the world and from Israel, all sorts of people, they called in with their names, and we took the names there, and we prayed for them. Anybody from all over the world can dial 5-800-863, and we will take their name to be mentioned at Rachel's tomb.
Okay, Blimi Kluger from the Kever Rachel institutions, thank you very much for joining us. Shalom.
Thanks to you. Bye-bye.
When we return, Mayan and Eyal, a Gush Katif story.
Be sure to visit the Israeli Salad website. On the Israeli Salad site, scroll through all the editions, see what topics were presented on each program, and simply click on the icon to watch your favorite program. Also, watch all our fantastic music videos featured right here on Israeli Salad. So be sure to click on www.israelnationaltv.com/salad.htm. That's www.israelnationaltv.com/salad.htm.
Miriam Hoffman and Tennis Samuel are following the Yadai family who live in Gush Katif in the Gaza Strip. So let's watch the first segment from Croatia to Gush Katif.
תוכנית ההתנתקות תכלול פריסה מחודשת של כוחות צה"ל בקווי ביטחון חדשים ושינוי בפריסת היישובים.
We were looking for a place to live, to be part of a warm family and community. We came to visit friends here and fell in love with this community.
Wonderful neighbors.
We feel as if they are our family. Our families don't come here. They are afraid to come, especially after terror attacks, but we don't lack for anything here.
For me, the human warmth brought me here. I treat this place just like Tel Aviv or any place in Israel.
God changes people's ways and directions and brings us to places we never dreamt would get to. For example, like being here today with my amazing family. My childhood in Croatia was very difficult. I went through wars and lost my faith in everything, in people. I didn't have any support whatsoever. Apart from my family, we had nothing left. Our house was destroyed, relatives were murdered. It was very, very difficult for us.
אני בן 31 וגדלתי בשכונה שקוראים לה פרדס כץ ובגיל 12 עברתי לקיבוץ.
I grew up in a neighborhood of Pardes Katz. At 12, I moved to Kfar Rupin. I was raised there until the middle of my army service, and after that I moved around to all different kinds of jobs until I decided to work on a cruise ship as a security officer.
Because of this new reality, I also decided to leave Croatia. Actually, I know that I wanted to belong to something, and God gave me a gift. At the age of 17, I decided to go to work on a cruise ship.
I was walking around the ship. I met Mayan for the first time. The second I saw her, I told one of the staff members that she's going to be my future wife.
And this is where my life completely changed. We spoke a lot about Judaism, and I understood that he didn't want to marry me and to be with me because I'm a Gentile. I never knew what Judaism was all about, nor did he know much.
After a long period of time, we came back to Israel. She went through a conversion course, and in this process, I also became religious.
Today I'm still living in a war, and what's going on here is a war, but this time I feel I really belong.
Five bullets hit the vehicle. No one was even scratched. It was an absolute wonder and a miracle.
After a few minutes, we heard about the tragedy of the Hatuel family who were right after us, who lost their mother and 4 daughters.
I want to thank David Miller and Nicole Monk for the translation and voiceover.
Please send your comments, ideas, and questions to the Israeli Salad email, yoni@israelnn.com, or leave a message on the Israeli Salad voicemail at international dialing code 972-3918-5554. That's 972-3918-5554.
And now our weekly insight. This week we'll be discussing Parshat Chayei Sarah. We just spoke about the gravesite of our matriarch Rachel. In this parsha we read how Abraham purchases a plot of land in Hebron to bury his wife, our matriarch Sarah. Shalom to Rabbi Samson in Jerusalem.
Shalom Yoni, shalom to all of our viewers.
Rabbi Samson, we know that the land of Israel was given to Abraham from God. Now we see here that Abraham paid money to buy a plot of land. Why is this transaction written in such a detailed way?
Well, I think it's coming to teach us something very deep and intrinsic about the connection the Jewish people have with Israel and the importance that it is for a Jew to actually pay, buy, and own the land that he lives on. The Hittites, when they told Abraham that he is a Nasi Elohim, he is a messenger and a president of God, what they actually are saying is that he's a lofty spiritual man who doesn't need concrete land, and that if he has a problem of burying the dead, then he can actually bury his wife in Hittite land. But why does he have to have deed and title and land ownership? And this is the argument between Abraham and Ephron the Hittite. And he's telling Ephron, no, you misunderstand the crux of Judaism. Judaism is not only a religion for Bedouin. Judaism is a religion, and it's also a real part of a nation. And that the idea of Judaism is that the Jewish people will have a place upon the globe, will have a land, and will own the land in our own right. And we won't owe the Hittites a favor for living in someone else's land. And it has to do with an essential understanding that I only wish today Jewish people around the world would understand and perceive the necessity of understanding that intrinsically the Jewish people belong in Israel not only as guests of someone else, but it's our land and we should do everything in our power to acquire it.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Samson.
The Weekly Insight is brought to you in cooperation with Machon Meir, the largest Zionist institute in Israel, bringing people closer to Judaism.
That's all for this week. Join us again next week for another program. Until then, from all of us here at Israel National TV, Shalom.